Good afternoon, everybody. This is Eric with Shadow Ops RC. I'm about to show you a few things. So here's a handy tool to have with the S6R and S8R receivers from Frsky. It's the STK tool. If you're not comfortable with a little bit of computer programming with Lua scripts, this is a must for these receivers for the initial calibration and setup. So there's that tool. It's the interface. You have to download the drivers off of Frsky's website. They're free because all of Frsky's stuff is freeware. This is a S6 receiver, S6R receiver. Let me so you guys can see this a little better. Sorry, my focus is being dumb. So, sorry. I need different lenses. Sorry. It just says S6R from Frsky, and it's their 3-axis stabilized series of transmitter, not transmitter, receiver. So, when you go to program these with the STK tool, they're similar to Futaba with the S-Bus setup. So anytime you use a STK, you plug it into the last channel. So it's really a 7-channel receiver, but it says it's a 6, but it says S-port. S-port is also how you run another receiver, so you can have 16 channels. So it's very, very similar to Futaba. That little spot right there in the bottom left corner, I know I can't see it very well, I'm sorry. It allows you to, it's your bind button. So you go into the radio, click bind, and then press that button and it binds. It's really easy. I like that setup better than having to have a stupid bind plug like with my old Spectrum DX6i. So this is the receiver that I'm going to put in my FMS Kingfisher. I have an Admiral receiver in it currently, but I couldn't turn the gyro on and off, only having 6 channels, and still operate the flaps. So there's that. Let me bring this up here. So when you use the STK tool, let's see here, you have to download another thing as well, and I forgot to name the folder. PC config. It allows you to interface with the receiver and do all your programming. So tonight I'll just do a basic intro to things, and then tomorrow I will get a video of showing you how to use the config tool. So since we have it hooked to the receiver, just launch it. So this is what the config tool looks like. This is the startup screen. I can get the camera in closer here for you guys. But right now we're not speaking to the transmitter at all. So first thing you have to do if you're going to do any programming is hit open. And see how it ghosted that right there? We're talking to it. And the reason how I can know that is if you go to accelerometer calibration. Oh, I skipped a step. Hang on a second, you guys. This always has to go to COM7. This has to be selected and open. If I go on accelerometer and I move it now, the numbers up in here move, which tells me it's active. but you select wing type. Quick mode is what you want for the gyro. How are you going to have it mounted? That's how mine's going to be mounted in the plane. This is your gain settings. This is also where if your control directions are wrong, you can change that. Your offset angles, which I really don't use. And then in here is where you do your calibration. So anytime you change something, so say I change my wing type to Delta and I want to change it in the receiver, you hit right. So I'll show you what happens. If you hit right, it says tip writing configuration down here in the bottom left corner. That in red. When it's green, that's what the receiver is gonna do. It just takes a second. Went green. So, but if you open it and want to see what's programmed into the receiver, if you hit read, it says reading configuration. When the words go green, then it will show you everything you have programmed into the receiver. It just takes a second because it's talking to the receiver. There we go. So it's telling us our wing type is that, mounting type is that, all of our settings. It's so if I bump the table, it's registering because it's moving this, moving the gyro in it, and the numbers are moving. So there's just a brief intro right there for you guys. The Craft King number one. You had asked me to show a programming video with the SDK. Run out of time today, so there's just a brief intro. I will do a more in-depth video tomorrow and make it to where you can see what's on the screen better. But I really like these receivers and the Frsky setup. If you have a little bit of patience, they're great. Big shout out to Dave's RC, Skip Build RC, Pilot Robert and Captain Bloss, Pilot Ryan and Captain Mike, Wreckham Roy's RC. There are a bunch of different places to take a look at on YouTube. Shout out to all the subscribers. If you have any questions ever, or you think there's something you want me to do a video on, let me know. This is your guys' channel just as much as mine. Otherwise, this is Eric with Shadow Ops RC out. All have a great evening.